Okay. So, start however is comfortable, but I'm going to invite you to start seated. Let me move this a little bit. So I'll invite you to start seated. If it's comfortable for you, to come into easy pose, cross-legged on your butt. That's where I'm going to start with my hands on my knees. Option to also come to hero's pose on your knees here or laying down. Really whatever feels good. If it feels best for you to just lay down during this entire practice, please go for it. Take whatever you need. As always, I am just a guide. Everything that I'm saying is just a suggestion. You know your body better than anyone else, so listen to it and allow it to take what it needs. That being said, if it's comfortable for you, you can go ahead and close down your eyes, or maybe just let your gaze get a little heavy and just start to notice your breath, connecting back to the thing that keeps us alive in a sense and keeps us present, as the breath is kind of an anchor to the present moment, as we can't breathe in the future, we can't breathe in the past, we can only breathe right now. So let's take a big breath in, growing tall through our spine, and a big breath out, grounding into whatever space that you're in right now. Another breath in, filling up, and a breath out, letting your shoulders fall down your back. Another breath in, filling up, and a breath out, maybe relaxing your jaw, your forehead. Continuing to breathe here, letting your body get a little heavier as you breathe out. And as you continue to breathe, I'm going to read today's passage from my book, The Daily Stoic. So I used to post these on my story all the time, and I thought it might be fun if I start to read them as part of these sessions. So this book is The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman, and it's translations of these philosophers from back in the day, and these guys basically apply them to our modern day. So March 25th, and the theme for March in this book is awareness. So today's passage is titled Wealth and Freedom Are Free. So Epictetus says in Discourses, freedom isn't secured by filling up on your heart's desire, but by removing your desire. Freedom isn't secured by filling up on your heart's desire, but by removing your desire. So the authors then go on to explain this as, there are two ways to be wealthy: to get everything you want, or to want everything you have. I'll say that again. There are two ways to be wealthy: to get everything you want, or to want everything that you have. Which is easier right here and right now? The same goes for freedom. If you chafe and fight and struggle for more, you will never be free. If you could find and focus on the pockets of freedom you already have, well, then you'd be free right here, right now. So I think this one is really interesting for these times. I'm feeling really, really grateful to still have a job right now, and to be able to work from home. And that being said, you know, it does feel like you can feel a little cooped up, right? Working from home all day, being at home. But I think, you know, for me today, I kind of got in that headspace, that anxious headspace, and I decided to go for a walk. I was just going to take Macy to go to the bathroom, and I ended up walking for an hour. And that was the kind of freedom that right now I really needed. So some other examples, you know, I was stuck in my head overthinking, and called a friend and was lucky enough to have her help me kind of unpack some things. It was like this freedom for like my mind and my emotions right now. And Maybe think of something right now that makes you feel free, whether it's FaceTiming a friend, going for a walk, maybe creating right now, being artistic is what makes you feel really free. Just drawing or doodling or writing a poem, something without any expectations or something that you just do that just makes you feel free. So think about that. And let's take another breath in, filling up with that feeling. Then exhale, breathing it out. Another breath in here. And a breath out, let it go. As you take another round of breath here, maybe set an intention for these next 20-25 minutes, whether that's just connecting back with your breath or getting some light movement in, or starting to think of how you can feel more free. Maybe yoga is how you find your freedom right now. I also think just focusing on what we're grateful for really allows us to feel free. So you can flutter your eyes open, and let's inhale and sweep our arms up overhead. And exhale, seated side stretch, right arm down, left hand up and overhead. Thinking about letting your right shoulder drop away from your ear, maybe walking your arm out a little bit or bending through your elbow, just really wanting to get that really nice side stretch here. Let's inhale back up through center. And exhale, seated side stretch the other side. So left hand down, right arm up and over. And I'm sorry I'm not mirroring. So just do whatever side you didn't already do. Again, thinking about letting your shoulder fall away from your ear. Maybe you bend your elbow or walk your fingertips out long. Grounding through both of your sit bones. Opening up through your heart, maybe looking up. Inhale back up through center. Exhale for a seated twist. So twisting from your core and bringing your right hand behind your back, placing your palm or your fingertips on the mat behind you, and then bringing your left hand to your right knee. Breathing in to grow tall through your spine, like someone's pulling the top of your head with a string. And then exhale to twist. So maybe even pulling your right knee with your left hand. And really twisting through your core. Looking over your right shoulder if that feels good. Remembering to really find length in your spine. Inhale back up through center, hands high. And exhale, seated twist on the other side. Left hand planting behind your back and your right hand finding your left knee. Growing tall through your spine, opening up through your heart as you twist from your core. Maybe looking over your left shoulder if that feels okay, on your neck and on your back. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, let's come back up through center, hands sweep high. Exhale, hands through heart center. Breath in here. And exhale, let it go. And let's just bring our hands to our sides. And we're just going to do a couple simple neck stretches. So just let your left ear fall off towards your left shoulder, feeling the stretch on the right side of your neck. Option 2, walk your right hand out a little bit. If that feels good, if you want a little extra stretch, you can also bring your left hand to the top of your right head, the right side of your head. I think next time I'll mirror you guys instead of Just saying my rights and lefts. And then go ahead and just roll your head forward and then off to the other side. Letting your shoulders fall down. Rather than bringing your shoulder to your ear, try to bring your ear towards your shoulder. Maybe close your eyes and start to notice your breath again. Start to notice where, if any, you feel tension in your neck. Just noticing it, not judging it, not giving yourself a hard time for being human and holding stress in your neck. And then go ahead and just roll your head back and start making circles with your neck. I'll tell you when to switch sides. Maybe even bring your shoulders up to like massage the back of your head as you bring it back. Maybe going back and forth. And then maybe letting your neck linger or your head linger anywhere that you feel a little extra tense. Go ahead and switch sides. Rolling the opposite way. I have one spot in my neck, it's right here that feels extra tense. I can feel it in my upper back. So if you feel that, go ahead and just maybe stay a little longer. Let's take one more breath in here as you roll. And another breath out, coming back to center. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, come into tabletop pose. Hands and knees, creating a little table with your back, spreading your fingertips wide, pressing through your palms, pressing through the tops of your feet. Breathe in for cow pose, opening through your chest, dipping your belly, letting your tailbone lift. And then exhale for cat, dropping your tailbone, bringing your belly to your spine and your chin to your chest. Inhale for cow, opening up. Exhale for cat, round to here. And then breathe in for cow one more time. Exhaling for cat, taking your next few rounds of breath to move however feels good. So maybe that's some circles, or maybe it's staying in cat-cow or coming into a child's pose, sitting back on your heels. Maybe closing your eyes to allow yourself to really feel into this rather than worrying about what it looks like. Take another breath in here, meeting back in tabletop. And exhale for child's pose. So let your toes come together. Your knees can stay where they are, or they can come a little wider, maybe towards the edges of your mat. And then just sink your hips towards your heels. So almost like you're gonna sit your butt down on your heels. I can't do that. If you can, cool. And then just reach your arms forward if that feels good. If your shoulders need a little extra support, you can bend through your elbows, maybe even resting your forehead on your palms. That feels really good. You can also just bend your elbows a little bit, maybe rock your forehead side to side on the mat. My neck's a little sore, so this feels really good right now. We'll just be here for about 3 rounds of breath. So breathe in here, feel yourself filling up. And exhale, sink a little bit deeper, whether literally or just energetically. Another breath in and a breath out, feeling grounded to the floor, to the mat, to the space around you. Breathe in here. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, come back up to tabletop, hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips come up and back, heels come towards the mat. You can totally keep a little bend in your knee or a big bend. And you can let your heels not touch the floor. That's totally fine. We're creating like almost like a little tent with our body here. So really pushing through our palms, breathing in from our hands to our hips, and breathing out from our hips to our heels. Let's bend through our right knee, and then bend through our left as we straighten our right. Let's do that one more time, bending through our right knee, and then bending through our left. Inhale, come high on all of your toes. Exhale, bend your knees and look forward. Step your feet in between your hands. Let your knees bend. And then you can just let your body hang here, or you can grab opposite elbows. Maybe interlace your fingers behind your head. Whatever feels good, just allowing yourself to get a little heavy here. Letting go of whatever you don't want to hold on to. I always think about it falling out of the top of my head. So that anxiety I was feeling today, I'm just gonna let it go. And then let's slowly roll up to mountain pose, lifting our hands high overhead. And exhale, bring your hands through heart center. Breath in here. And a breath out. One more breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, hands through heart center, hinging at your hips, lowering down. You can bend your knees a little bit. And then let's breathe in for a simple twist. So peeling your right arm towards the sky. If you have blocks, this is a good time to use one just to bring the ground a little bit closer to you if you have tight hamstrings. So keeping your left hand planted, or maybe your fingertips are tented. Peel your right arm towards the sky, opening up, bending a lot through your left leg, and a little bit through your right. Unless you have really, really flexible hamstrings. Just feeling this all along the outside of your right leg. Another breath in here. And a breath out, lowers you down. Inhale for a halfway lift here. So bringing your hands to your legs, maybe pushing into your shins or your thighs. Thinking about a flat back like we had in table, opening up through your heart. And then exhale, bring it back down for a fold. Inhale for a standing twist on the other side. So maybe if you have a block, you bring your right hand to the block, or you leave it on the floor, maybe flat or tented. Peeling your left arm up and opening up through your fingertips, bending a lot through your right knee and a little through your left. Thinking about opening your left shoulder blade, looking up if that feels good. If it doesn't, do whatever feels good. Yoga is really just about connecting your body to your breath and listening to what your body needs and allowing yourself to take that. Another breath in here. And a breath out to lower. Inhale, come back up to that halfway lift. And then exhale, let's just take it down to a downward facing dog. Hips come up and back, heels towards the mat. And inhale, sweep your right leg high for a three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through for a low lunge. And allow your back knee to drop here. So sweep your arms forward and up for an Anjaneyasana. Getting into your hips here. My hips have been really feeling tight today, so I wanted to do a little hip work. For anyone else working from home all day, you're probably feeling similarly. And let's just keep with this twisting theme and sweep your right arm back and your left arm forward, opening up here. Breathing in, maybe sweeping your right arm back a little bit even more. Twisting again through your core. And let's breathe in and bring our back hand to our back leg and our front hand up. Exhale, let's sit it back for a half split. So straightening-ish through your front leg. Again, a great time to use blocks if you have them, or something like blocks, like maybe you have like books or something like that that are close by, just to bring the ground closer to you. So straightening ish through that front leg, getting into your hamstring here. Hamstrings are very tight today, so there's a generous bend in my knee. Just breathing here. And then let's come back to a halfway lift. So bring your left foot to meet your right, and then bring your hands to your shins or your thighs. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale all the way up to mountain pose, hands sweep high. Exhale, hands through heart center, breathing in here and breathing out. Inhale for mountain. Exhale, hands through heart center, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Breathe in again for a halfway lift. And exhale to lower. Inhale for that standing twist, peeling your right arm up. And exhale to lower. Breathe in, twisting on the other side, peeling your left arm up. And exhale to lower. Breathe in for a halfway lift. And exhale back to a downward facing dog. Hips up and back, heels come towards the mat, pressing through your palms. Breathe in for a three-legged dog, sweeping your left leg high. And step it through for a low lunge, letting your back knee drop. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up for Anjaneyasana, getting into now your right hip flexor, or whichever side you didn't do last time. Breathing in to reach your arms up. Also an option to bring your hands to heart center or to your hips, or really wherever feels good. And yeah, if it's comfortable for you, let's go back into that twist on this side. So sweeping your left arm back and keeping your right arm forward. Twisting from your abdominals, just like in our seated twist. Think about like someone, like you're pushing someone with the back of your left hand. I don't know if that's a good cue, but that's what it feels like to me. And then inhale, sweep your back arm to your back leg and your front arm overhead. Getting a little bit into your side body here. Let's exhale for half split, straightening ish through your left leg. Option to grab blocks here, or maybe just hang your fingertips. So allow yourself a generous stretch, but also a generous bend. You don't want to hurt yourself here. If I let my ego take over in this pose, I would for sure have a pulled hamstring. So just do what feels good. Try not to judge yourself. You're not a bad person if your leg is not straight. And then let's come back up to halfway lift, letting your feet both meet together. Hands come to your shins or thighs. Exhale to lower. Inhale, mountain pose, hands sweep high. Exhale, hands through heart center. Breathing in here and breathing out. Another breath in and a breath out. Inhale for mountain, sweeping your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold it down. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, let's come to a tabletop, hands and knees. And then breathe in here for cow, opening up through your chest, letting your belly drop and your tail lift. And exhale, push back into a cat pose, pushing through your palms, feeling your chin come to your chest, belly to spine, and your tailbone drops. And then let's just make our way to our back. So however feels good for you to get to your back. Excuse me. Go ahead and do that. And once you're there, just hug your knees into your chest, squeezing really tight here. Maybe it feels good to bring your nose to your knees or to point and flex your toes here. And then let's breathe in for legs up the wall. So straighten-ish, again, through your legs. And here too, maybe it feels good to point and flex your toes or roll through your ankles. Maybe it feels good to massage your hamstrings, giving them a little bit of love. If you're hesitant to rub the backs of your legs, I'm going to challenge you to go for it. There's something about doing this that just feels like a self-love practice that I'm a big fan of. So let's breathe in, bring our knees back into our chest. And then exhale for a supine twist. So just let your knees fall off to one side or the other. I'm going to let them fall to my right side. And then you can even, if it feels good, you can like scoot your hips off to the other side. And then lots of options here with our arms. You can let them fall out like a T. Maybe you bring your one hand to your knees, one hand to your heart, or you place your hands on your belly or somewhere that just needs a little love. You can bend at your elbows, kind of like a goalpost, to open up through your chest a little bit more. If it feels good, you can look off your left shoulder or keep a neutral neck. Again, especially with your neck, the rule is to do whatever feels best for you. It's literally all that matters, as long as you're doing it safely and mindfully. Inhale back up through center, hugging your knees into your chest, maybe bringing your nose to your knees. And then exhale, let your knees fall off to the other side. Maybe scooting over if you are in a small space like I am. So letting your knees fall off to that other side, opening up maybe through your opposite arm. So for me, my right arm. Letting your arms come out wide, or letting your elbows bend, or finding somewhere to place your hands on your body, taking whatever feels good for you right now, whatever makes you feel most safe, most supported, empowered. And just take a moment to be here, breathing into this moment and breathing out into this moment. Inhale, bring our knees back up through center. And then exhale, I'm going to invite you to come into a reclining butterfly. So let your knees fall to the side and let the soles of your feet come together. If this is too much, if you have blocks, you can let the blocks come underneath your knees. Or if you have pillows, maybe you have like couch pillows or something like that, you can put those underneath your knees. Or if you don't have that option and this is like way too much, you can go straight into your Shavasana, or So many options. You can come to a seated butterfly, just here, either staying upright, maybe coming down a little bit. But we'll be here for a little bit, a few rounds of breath before we move into our final pose. If it feels good for you, I'll invite you to bring your hands to your hips here. Just sending some love to an area that we often critique. And then if it feels good for you, you're welcome to stay here. If there are any other poses you'd like to take before our final resting pose, please go ahead. If you'd like a more traditional final resting pose, you can let your legs come out long, your arms by your side. Maybe you keep your hands on your hips or place one hand on your heart, one on your belly. Maybe you decide to cactus your arms like I offered earlier when we were in supine twist. Or if your low back is a little sore, it might feel good to bend your knees, letting the soles of your feet find the mat, maybe even knocking your knees together. I'm going to stay in this reclined butterfly because that's what feels best in my body right now. So as you make your way into your final resting pose, and you start to quiet down your body, your mind might talk to you a little bit, and maybe revisit that intention that you set for yourself at the beginning of this practice. And maybe you also think about that idea of freedom being, let me read the quote again. Stay where you are. Freedom being wanting everything that you already have. So maybe it's literally focusing on things that make you feel free, like going for a walk, opening up, venting to a friend via phone call, FaceTime, text, whatever, creating art. If you can't do those things or don't really feel like it, maybe a way to find that freedom is by making a gratitude list, whether mentally or writing it down, taking note of what you already have, and practicing gratitude for that, I think is really, really what allows us to feel free. So on that note, I'm going to lay down for about a minute or two. Feel free to stay in your Shavasana as long as you would like. I'll pop back up to say thank you in a little bit. I wonder how long that was paused. Sorry if that was paused. My phone's dying. Alright, so from our Shavasana, coming into a seated position. And let's just bring our arms up overhead one more time. And exhale, bring them down to heart center. Breathing in. Exhaling, breathing out. Another breath in to be right where you are. And a breath out, feeling grounded exactly where you are. Thank you so much for joining me, for taking this time for yourself. Thank you to the people and the culture that created this practice that we all benefit from. Stay positive, you guys. Stay grateful. Stay connected. Thank you.